Alrighty, so let's see. Virtually the same comp. One big RD, unless you're top tier. You can go either direction here. Sometimes I like to play in this town here. I think you get some easy shots on these guys over here that head through there. Like if their heavies move through, you can get an easy shot of damage, and then you can play through in underneath here, depending on how soft they play over here. You can also play on this side. If you play on this side, I like playing through like the C, B, or C line. I don't like going all the way to the A. Again, it depends on the comp that you think that you're gonna run into. So it looks like you're going with the south option. Oh yeah, I had to remember to put my proxy detect circle on there as well. So I have the draw circle, I have the max spotting circle, and I have the current spotting circle. And my little, I like having the little 50-meter circle, so you know how close you have to be to proxy spot someone, or to avoid being proxy spotted by someone. This is more often the case. So it looks like a good number of your team is going to the south here, and that's sort of good. But that also means that you guys have to win this area over here. You can't just stagnate, especially if they don't send a whole lot. So it looks like you're going to be first man in, which is good and bad. Like one of the things that you can do is you can play over by these houses over here, which creates a sort of a flanking for your team as they drive in. Looks like you're headed in that direction, which is good. You have to be careful though, because if they have speed tanks, like if they had light tanks, or let's just say this was a tier 10 game, if they had a bat chat or something like that, they could get that over here fast. But see where you're going. I think this is a fantastic area, because what this does a lot of times is as their heavies push in, it forces them to stop back here. They can't really push across to get to you, because your team usually by then is right here covering this area anyways. But it makes it so that they can't take this area to prevent your team from moving forward. You just have to be careful how far forward you push here. You don't want to push super far forward here, because you'll see that not only, well, you're not going to get fantastic shots, but you're in an argument. Oh, aim that hatch. I mean, you hit the hatch, but aim for the hatch. That's one of the things, the gun control on the WZ-120 is not very good. I don't think he has the elevation or the depression to shoot you from where he was at, so you had more time. Now he backed up a little bit, so he's got the depression to shoot you. You can probably bait him into shooting your track, though. I think you are better off shooting. See how he's on a little bit of an upslope now? You're better off shooting, if you're going to try to snapshot that lower glacius, because it's pointing up in the air a little bit. Like some of these snapshots I'm okay with, just because, you know, there's this window within which you have to operate. Hug him, hug him. Well, okay, now you don't need to hug him. Because now you don't want to get hit by RD or your team. Aim, 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 my man! They still have a bunch of guys here, but you can encapsulate them. Just go ahead and push in here. It's an RD risk, but there's not really much else risk here.
It's a trap!
That Panther is probably the least important casualty here. So the RD shot, so you know that you have a window of about 40 seconds to operate in. So I always look at the time. Like I noticed that it was like around 11:50. So I actually think you want to push forward there, right? You still have like another 20 good seconds or so. You don't need to push over this hill, just push down there. It's going to give you better shots. And then take your time, man. That's an easy shot. Just take your time. And RD will be loaded in probably about another 15 seconds or so. So now is when you want to push in here. But again, take your time. Make sure you get the shots. And if you can't get the depression to shoot him in the back of the turret. If he's giving you that shot, take that shot. Push into him. Push. Don't sit where you're at, because that's an arty lane where you're at. You can try to save the IS-3 if you want. You can get in front. Just get between them. Or Alright, that's fine. And the Tiger 2 is underneath. Not that big of a deal where he's at. You don't need to risk too much to get that guy. You need to start going back, though, because you've already lost through the base. And so now really what needs to happen is that, you know, you can put one guy right there, but pretty much everyone else needs to at least be thinking about how they're going to head back to the base. Right? They're still going to have the ability to cover from that center. So like as you push back, you want to push back through this ditch on the one line here. You need to be worried about getting camped out now, because they're going to be pushing through there. And then push on the left side of this hill. Make sure you push on the left side of this hill. It's very important. You don't want to be on this right, because then you can get lit and shot from either side. Also, I would have taken that shot at full speed from 600 meters. Or 550 meters. So you're willing to take this shot, but you weren't willing to take the shot when they were a trap! And then, so you want to go on the left side of this hill again. It's a trap! You don't want to sit out here in the open, because these guys are going to be able to shoot you. That was a good shot. You chose the tank that was covered the most. It would have been easier to pen those other guys, but it's fine. Oh my god, aim, my man, aim! And then you're gonna get arty'd. You have to understand that, which is why you want to be on the left side of this hill, because it would give you a little bit of arty cover there. And so you don't want to, again, you're not too worried about these guys penning you from, you know, over this little ridge from this distance. I would shoot the T-20 in. You're worried about getting shot in the ass by arty. That should be your biggest concern. Everything else should be, that's what your focus should be on. No, shoot the Panther. Oh my god. You got so many opportunities here. Like, just drive in there. Just drive in there. You're gonna need to start driving in there, because otherwise the T-20 is just gonna be able to cap you out. Lol, the ammo rack. You're lucky that arty hasn't hit you yet. I would have killed you like a minute and a half ago. And then, again, you know you've got a huge window here, so take your time. Go, take your time. So you got about another 15-20 seconds for arty. You don't know where the T-44 is. You last spotted down here. So you want to actually just let those guys drive into the cap. I would go see if you can kill arty right now. You've got a window. I wouldn't even bother. I would just drive C-line and then just drive straight down here. The T-30 might be coming through the middle, either this way or this way. T-44 is most likely coming up this way. Right? So you've got a window where you can go around this outside to kill arty if you wanted. You've got a small window where your Tiger 2 can defend the cap. But you gotta have a plan. It looks like your Tiger 2 is abandoning cap, so you're not going to be able to drive too far away. So what you'll probably end up doing is just look through here, and if you can pick up the T-30, then that's great. If you can't, then you have to go someplace else. I would just come to this inside ridge right here, and then you can start coming up this side again already. I don't know that this is the best play. You can peek to see if you can see the arty, if the arty's still back in the cap, but it seems more likely that you'll just get capped out. See how far away your Tiger 2 is? That's not good, because he's not going to be able to spot it, so you're not going to get any intel. Yeah, I don't think he's down here. Yeah, I don't know about capping. I think you're better off just pushing down this side to get the artillery, because presumably he's down on this side. And see how your Tiger 2 didn't get you any intel, so you don't have any information as to what's going on over there. And now you're not going to get back in time, which is the bigger problem. But yeah, like, I'm not entirely a super big fan of sort of capping in that situation, because if they did send 2 to your base, then you automatically lost because you're too far away. So I always think that it's best to hedge your bets, right? To start heading out here, and then if you spot something, then you at least have that information. If you don't spot anything, then you know that that they've come around this way.
It's a trap!
Oh, you've been like all these snappers. Alright, oh darn it, I forgot to stop it. Anyhow, I thought you did okay. I mean, I thought pushing to the southwest area was good. I thought where you pushed in was good. I thought you were reasonably, that you played this side reasonably well. You rushed a lot of shots that you did not need to rush. There's some shots that you need to rush, like you could argue the snapshots against IS-6. Again, I'm totally fine with that if you want a snapshot against IS-6, just so that he doesn't get shots on you. That's fine by me. But there's no excuse for you missing that shot on the back of the IS-8, the T-10 or whatever it's called now. And there's a couple other shots that you missed that. All you gotta do is aim, man. The WZ-120, it's a heavy gun on a medium platform. That's why the Chinese mediums kind of suck, because they have very, very poor gun control and very, very little gun depression. So you need to baby the gun. It's almost like playing a clip tank. You need to baby the clip, and you need to baby this gun as well. You need to make sure that those shots hit, because the rate of fire is lower than all the other mediums. The DPM is lower than all the other mediums. The only way that you make that up is when you make your alpha count every single time. Every single miss with these tanks is a huge problem, especially for easy shots. You did okay on this cap. I think you need to understand positioning, your defensive positioning a little bit better. You could have been on the left side of this hill, had the same shots on these guys, had the same defensive capabilities on these guys, and been a lot less exposed to Artie. It would have been really, really easy to kill you as already in that position that you're at least if you're over here. And again, you want to be moving a little bit more. Understand what you're afraid of from the distance and over the little hill, the ridge here. Those guys weren't going to get very good shots on your hull. So especially with the guns that they had, I mean, I think there was 2 T-20s. The Panther 88 could have, but you know, they're not going to get a whole lot of good shots. Understand that the Artie is a bigger problem, bigger threat to you than the guys that are on cap. So you can stop to aim, but otherwise you should be moving in an unpredictable fashion. And it really doesn't matter. Again, understand what you're afraid of. You're not that afraid of their guns out there as long as you're relatively hulled down over here. You just need to be afraid of the Artie. And then at the end, I think this was fine. I think pushing through here is fine. I think once you came over to this ridge over here, you should have started cutting back down this way. Just because you could have peeked over here just to see if the Artie was there, but if he wasn't there, then that means that he either moved west, probably, or north, which is less probable, but one of those two directions. So you need to just look and see what intel you get from that. And the fact that you didn't see anything means that you shouldn't go to cap. Because the fact that you didn't see anything over here means that there's someplace else, and someplace else most likely means your cap, right? And you're not going to be able to traverse that distance within that time. So it would have been better, in my opinion, to come back and get those shots, because you wouldn't have needed to come back very far, especially with the Tiger II lights. You can get shots into that area pretty easily. So especially from this sort of G line, F line area. But and so if you look at stats, your team didn't do that bad. Your team did okay. You did pretty well, which is good to see. 17 to 24 is I mean, it's not horrible with this gun, but you got lucky on some and you got unlucky on some. So I think in the long run, it sort of cancels out. Just make sure that you understand where you can bully, like those guys on the cap. You know you can bully that, and understand where Artie's going to hit you. Understand your defensive firing lanes, and I think that will help you out a lot. But good game though. I mean, not bad. 6K and a WZ-120. GG. Nice try. Alrighty, and next is Anbarix T54 First Proto. Tier 8 game is good. There's a lot of tank destroyers on both sides, which generally means it's going to be very campy. So it looks like you should be able to bully on the east if you go east. I see you loaded into the game pretty late. Playing World of Tanks on the toaster. So especially this late, you can start heading up through that sort of 7 line, or you can just drive straight up the 8 or the 9 at this point. They do have a small arty, but it's really not that big of a threat. You don't need to cut way out here. I mean, that's not like super necessary. Especially given their comp, you know that you can dominate through here, so there's no need to push all the way out here. You could have literally just driven straight up this beach right here and just bully. Driving all the way out here, especially in a slow tank, to me is just a waste of time in this type of comp. Because like look at what you know out here so far. 59-16, bully. Easy 8, bully. Cromwell, bully. SP1C, bully. E25, bully. And you just want to keep things in front of you. You don't need to push into him because you're exposing your flank to that side. And remember, you could do just as much from a little bit further back. You also want to watch the 59-16, who's apparently very oblivious to you. You don't need to auto-aim this, just do your sniper zoom. And you don't need, the shells don't do more damage the closer you are. You just need to be close enough to hit them. Like, you're wasting a lot of time driving around when you don't really need to. Just bully. Bully. Just drive straight up there at him, bully. And this is what I mean by when the comp is in your favor, don't dilly-dally, don't waste time, just punch faces. Just punch them in the face, make them regret playing. Okay, so there's charioteer right here that you probably want to intercept. A little bit more to your right. Your buddy is getting pushed here. You need to get on this line over there. Oh, don't take the long way around. Don't take the long way around. If you went around on that side, you could already be having shots on that Ferdinand. You can save him! You can do it! Don't shoot your friend. Oh my god, you almost shot your friend. Alright, that's good. And then just, you can snipe this charioteer. You don't want to push this. You actually probably want to turn around and go back down the 8 line, head back to cap. Like, pushing this frontally, you can do it, but it's probably not going to be in your favor. Like, they can slow you down enough that they'll cap you out in the meantime. So again, it's understanding what you can bully and what's a fair fight. And if you have a choice between bully and fair fight, take bully. There's this game doesn't reward fighting fair. That's some Russian accuracy right there. And again, like the strength for these types of tanks is being at a much closer distance than what you're trying to engage at. And he has the ability to pen you frontally, so you can't just sit out there and take it. Like, you took far too much damage from that JP. Or, I'm sorry, JP 88. And so really what you should have been doing that whole time, because I think you did 0 damage to the JT88. Yeah, you did 0 damage to that JT88. So that entire time you could have been driving down the 8 line to come back to bully whatever's on the cap. Which appears to be a T28. Oh no, the T28 photo's there. So it appears to be the Michon is on the cap. And that also would have saved you about 462 health. Which is not a trivial amount of health. You can cut through there. And the Shorn can also pen you frontally, potentially, so you need to be careful about how you do this. He's going to be behind this little building right here. So you can come around this side, around the left. You don't need to go around the right. Nicely done. And just push back. You're not going to get there in time. So actually what I would do is just get set up for them to come back. And so they're going to come back either down this 4 line or this 6 line probably. So what you want to do is you want to get set up like over here, where you can get shots as they start crossing this area over here. You basically want to get into a position where you can ambush them. That's what you're looking to do. You can do the same thing potentially from over on this side, although it's not really quite as good. And again, here's where you don't want to drive to the back. You want to be a little bit more forward so that you have position to fall back if they as they come across. You don't want to start in the beta position. You want to start someplace a little bit more forward. That way it gives you a place to fall back to. And you just make them pay in blood for moving forward. That's what you really want to look to do. I never like camping in the last resort position. So we're going to speed this up a little bit. A little bit more. And then see, so this is what I understand is that now you move out. So if you're gonna be there, if you're gonna camp, at least commit. You know, don't move late, because now you don't know where they are, right? There's a big question mark. You know, early on before they set up, you know where they are, and you know that that there's a certain amount of time in which they're going to come down here or they're going to come down here. So like I said, what I would have done is I would have camped either right here or right here. right? In one of those two places here. And if they didn't show up down here within 45 seconds or so, then I know that they're either camping on their side or they're pushing down this outside. But now, since you spent a minute and a half back here, you don't know where they are. They can literally be anywhere. You have no intel. So now pushing out becomes more and more and more risky, because you don't have any data on what it is that they're doing. So that's why it's always good to set up ambushes. You want to do that, and you don't want to set up in the back. So you can push around through the back here. I would actually just push around through there. You should anticipate that the T-28 Proto is in the same area as the Tiger II. You're a little bit too sharp of an angle. And the dispersion of the, or accuracy of this tank is not so good. No. Oh, there's the 28 Proto. Oh no. Good shot. Turn towards him. Oh. Tiger 2 is going to be pushing up behind you. Take your time. Make the shot count. Make the shot count. Yeah. And then I would just run away. Run away. You can use him basically as a hold down. Shoot through this little hole between him and the wall. Oh. You need to get free damage here. You need to get a shot on him on his way in. No, I don't know where you're going now. You need to get a shot of free damage, and so you need to do that while you know where he is. And again, it's just about understanding where your enemy is at. And it's like, if you're going to come back here, like, why wouldn't you just stop right there the first time? And then, so there's a sort of narrow window between his corpse and this building, where if he pushed across there, it would have been very easy for you to shoot at him, very difficult for him to shoot at you. You get your free shot of damage, which equalizes things, and then you can potentially get him down. It's the same thing here. You know where he's coming from, so all you should do is just set up right here. You can shoot over between the tank and through this little arch right there. Get your free shot of damage and then back up. You need to get a free shot of damage someplace. You're giving him free shots of damage on you, which is not what you want. And again, driving away is not the answer. You need to get a free shot of damage here someplace. And if you can set that up from over here, that would be great, but you don't really have those types of opportunities. But you need that shot of free damage. Without that shot of free damage, you're pretty much boned. And see, it's less likely that he's going to come out on this side than he is going to come out on the other side, right? And it's a matter of timing. Like, you basically, if you sat right here and you look this way, up this lane right here, if he doesn't show up there in 15 seconds, then he's coming around the other side. But otherwise, you don't know. Okay, so two things. One, you need to get that shot of free damage. Just critically important. Two, you need to set up ambushes a lot better than you did. They did end up driving straight through the middle. It looks like they drove through the 4 line and the 6 line respectively. So you could have had opportunities where you were shooting them for free as they were crossing these openings here, or at least gotten a free shot of damage. So set up. Be sure to set up for free damage. You want free damage. You need free damage, especially when you get low like that. You traded very poorly with their tank destroyers there. Again, the strength of the T-54 Proto is that it can bully in its tier. Like, almost every one of these tanks that was on their team was just a straight bully. Just straight bully. Embarrassing, pants over the head bully. And that's what it should have been. And that's why when you come over to this east side, you should have literally just driven up this 8 line or just driven up this 9 line, just smacking kids around until everything was dead. Like, there's no reason to pussyfoot it and go around on this outside and be sneaky. When you can bully, just bully. Don't ask questions. Just bully. And then at the end there, it would have been nice if you had that 462 health back, but that's not that big of an issue, because let's say that you needed to kill those tank destroyers or something like that, even though you didn't actually deal any damage yourself. Let's just say that you were needed to do that. That's fine. What you want to do here at this end, when it's a 1v2, 2v2 sort of situation, is you need to get free shots on these guys. And the way that you get free shots is as they're crossing through corners, as they're crossing around corners, through narrow areas, you have a shot set up already. You take your shot and then you just back up around the next corner, and then they turn around the next corner, right? And you get your shot and you back around the next corner, sort of thing. Like, that's the situation that you want to create. You do not want to sit there in the open and trade 1-for-1 when you're in a situation like that. You want to try to avoid that as much as possible. All right. So if we look at the stats. You didn't get a whole lot out of your team, unfortunately. Your buddy went in a little bit too deep, and you did not get there in time to help him out. Really, if he just kind of hung out with you, you guys probably could have just driven around and wrecked everything. But that's another thing about platooning with people. If you're going to platoon with somebody, find a way to work together, find a way to communicate together. Don't just basically do your own thing. That's certainly a lot less helpful than if you guys were working together to actually take these tanks down. Because their team was not very organized. Their defenses were not very good. It was very staggered, where you could just kill one layer at a time pretty easily. And so you guys should have really been able to clean up. Overall, not that bad. 16 to 26 is not very good, but from the distances that you were shooting, this gun is not very accurate still. They did increase the accuracy in this patch, but it's still like 0.36 or something like that, which is not super great. And so you don't really want to shoot. All of your shots should be close range for the most part. Otherwise, you're just sort of, you're not really picking out spots. You're just trying to shoot into the general area, which is not really what you want to do against a lot of the tanks that were left. But otherwise, pretty good. Moral of the story, bully. Look at the comp, understand which tanks that you can bully. Like, when I look at this, like when I look at the teams at the start of the match, so right, I look at the types, and we'll just start from the bottom here. I look at Cromwell, I go, oh, okay, if I run into a Cromwell, I'm just going to bully him. Easy A, I'm going to bully him. E25, bully. 5916, bully. Hummel, bully-ish. Hellcat, bully. Ferdinand, okay, the Ferdinand will be tough. That's not something that I want to just kind of trade with. The Nashorn can pen me, but he's also got low health and not a lot of no armor to speak of. So that's a maybe. JT88, I don't really want to trade with him frontally. T34, I don't really want to trade with him frontally. RU, bully. Jumbo, bully. Charioteer, alright, maybe not. Tiger 2, you should be able to bully a Tiger 2, but it depends on the player, especially if they use APCR, they can pen you. T28 prototype is a little bit tough, especially from range. But again, that's a tank that if you flank, he's pretty much done. So you can bully at least half of their team, like at least half. So especially when you identify that most of their tanks that you can't bully are on the other side of the map, you need to play your side of the map a lot more aggressively. But GG, and nice try. And free damages. Don't forget about free damages. You want to be able... That's one of the things that you should practice in the late game, is setting up to get shots on tanks as they're coming in. Free shots on tanks as they're coming in, and that's what you should be thinking about if you're in those situations. Even back when it was 2-on-2 and you still had 450-ish health or whatever it was, right? When you still have that, you're still thinking, how can I set up to get a free shot on these guys on the way in? And that should be the mentality in those types of games, because you need those types of little advantages in order for you to pull those things out. Alrighty, let's see. Yeah, pretty much same comp. E5, you can go either way in an E5, especially with no arty. You can play field if you want, you can play city if you want. Because it's similar comps, what I generally try to do is I try to create matchups. So if I'm on a heavy similar comp with no arty, I'll try to go field, because then I'll be matched up more likely against mediums that I can bully. Whereas if I go city, more likely I'm going to run into their heavies, and it'll be a little bit of a fair fight. It depends on the tank though. Like if I was in this mouse right here, I don't want to go field. But if you're in a combo tank like the E5 and you can really do either, I would go field, just because the matchups will be more in your favor. But it all depends. I mean, looks like your IS-7 friend is going this way, but your Action X friend is going the other way. You have pretty much an even split. It looks like your heavy's going down, everyone else is going the other way. And then so when there's no arty, you can actually play this 3-line pretty effectively. See where your IS-7 friend is going. That's actually a pretty good position, depending on what matchup they have. They don't have a lot of tank destroyers with a lot of pen, so it's not like they can shoot through them super easily. You're gonna get a lot of shots right here. Oh, just take your time. You're getting shot because of the other guy. You want to just turn your armor towards them. Frontally, you're going to be a beast. Don't forget that.
It's a trap!
It's not keeping these guys honest.
We didn't penetrate their armor.
You got a huge cluster of guys here, which is not what you want to see. You still want to be in a situation where you can shoot down this way if you can, which is why that for this 3-line, you should still be able to get shots there. If you stay on this west side, this E5 won't be able to spot you, I don't think. Again, you don't want to give too much of your side there.
Penetration. Target acquired.
And this is not very good trading for you, right? So you want to look to move someplace where you can be more effective. You know, whenever you're in that situation where you're getting, you know, 1 shot a minute type of things, you want to be in a different position. See how they're pushing down here? This is actually a better run for you. Unfortunately, your IS-7 left his awesome spot over there, because that really prevents these guys from pushing forward.
Enemy armor is hit. It's a trap!
Now he moves back. Now when that E-75 backs off.
It's a trap!
You can push up on this west side to get shots on that. Because see how these guys are backed off because of your IS-7? But you're losing the field, right? So you want to be a little bit more proactive here. You're basically, for a lot of this game, you're waiting for people to push into you. It's not really what you want to do. You're moving out laterally, which potentially is good, but it's not like the problem that you have playing on this line is that you're still gonna be pinned in by these IS-7s.
It's a trap!
Make that shot count. Make that shot count. You're slowly losing this line over here. Keep an eye on it. Don't ignore it.
Penetration.
They're coming in right now. Don't ignore it. Like these guys right here. Don't ignore it. Your buddy's dying. Don't ignore him.
It's a trap! They're knocked out.
Your buddy's about to die. Don't ignore him. Don't. Turn around. You're looking the wrong way. Oh, yeah, the siren. And then pushing on this side is good. I like this. You have plenty of time. You have plenty of time. Just bully. Just straight bully. Just push and bully. Like you look at what's out here: 2 Action X's or 3 Action X's and a T10. Not a problem. You don't need to shoot the 1390. Shoot anything.
It's
shoot
a trap.
You don't need to shoot the 1390. You need to be shooting every time you're loaded, though. Take that shot. Absolutely take that shot.
It's a trap!
Armor is hit.
You got your mouse pushed in there, which is actually a distraction. Your IS-7 is taking advantage of that, but you guys need a little bit of light here. This is becoming less and less of a good corner to push because you don't have the vision to do it. I would actually just turn around and actually you should probably just wait. See how your IS-7 overextended? All he needed to do is just drive up here, get a free shot, and then back off to where he had some backup.
It's a trap!
Scratch them.
So much rushing of the shots. Oh my god. Like, this is less and less important of a play. This 3-line is more important right now. Like, and again, if you find yourself waiting to get no shots or to get a shot, that's probably too long. Unless they're capping you out or somebody else is in imminent danger, like, there's always better places to be. Like, there's really, these guys aren't doing a whole lot. You're sort of about to get an encapsule, or something is about to happen right here, right? And you're going to be nowhere where you can actually help.
It's a trap!
Just not a good position to be in. Just waiting. Especially when your team is doing stuff. When your team is doing stuff, you want to do stuff. You need to be there to help. You can't be waiting.
It's a trap! It's a trap!
Kill that other IS-7. It's more important.
Gotcha.
No aims. That one was sort of understandable, just because of the Centurion Action X shot at you. Just bully. Straight bully.
It's a trap!
Oh, you could have had drive well there.
Enemy armor is
See, that was good. Aim there. Or you aim sufficiently there. And then just turn around and frontally face these guys. You know that the T-10 is coming down here. You know the Action X is behind him. So there's going to be two shots here. See where the T-10 went? That's actually good for you. All you have to do is go back to your original position. You don't want to push down this line because that's going to give the Action X easier shots on you. You just come back to your initial position. Or the Action X is right here.
It's a trap!
Not to his advantage. Bully. And then the bullying continues. I don't know what your T-95 is doing.
It's
Oh
a
my
trap!
god. You know you're going to get shot. Just go ahead and aim. You know you're going to reload before him, so you should line up to get your next shot already.
enemy vehicle destroyed.
Alright, so a couple of things. You know, when you have more time, aim a little bit more. You're taking a little bit too many snapshots when you don't need to. Again, it was much like the, let's see, what game was it? That was the WZ-120 game on Swamp. When you don't have time, taking snapshots totally fine. If you're on the move and you got a free shot to waste, go ahead and take the snapshot. If you've got time though, and especially, or if you know something's about to turn a corner and you have to take a snapshot, that's fine. But there's a lot of times where you're gonna get shot anyways. Make sure that you don't miss and get a 2-for-1, right? Because you're gonna reload faster. Like, understand the matchup that you're in against that the T-10, the IS-8. You're going to reload before him. You're going to get 2 shots to his 1. You're probably going to need 2 shots in order to kill him, right? You know that he can't one-shot you. It would be different if he could one-shot you, but you know that he can't one-shot you. So just turn that corner. Take your time. If he shoots you, it's fine. Make sure you get damage on that first shot. And then understand that you're going to be reloaded before he gets there. And just position yourself to get that second shot as soon as you're reloaded. You know, it has to be methodical in that sense. So anyways, playing this inside was fine. I actually thought coming up to this 2 line was okay. Once you could have gotten some shots over here. I actually think that the 3 line actually probably should have gotten better shots there, given the fact that they pushed their heavies to the side. But again, when you look at the comps, you have to know that their heavies are probably going to be in here someplace, so you're going to have a limited opportunity to shoot down there. And then it just kind of became this glut that was over here, and you kind of want to avoid sitting there. There were literally, I think, 5 tanks here, and you don't want to be waiting for these guys to poke, like this IS-7 that you're waiting for him to poke out. You want to try to be in situations where you get shots, more than 1 shot per minute. Your IS-7 I actually felt was in a good position right here, because that was actually preventing them from moving down the 3 line, which actually, when you lock this out, right, you can actually sit right here and shoot up this way when those guys were lit. And you have to understand, make sure that you watch the minimap and know that you're losing the field. Know when they're pushing around here, especially when you have your Action X buddy being pushed back here. Presumably you guys are on TeamSpeak. He should be saying, oh my god, they're coming in. And you were like sitting here shooting this E5, which is fine. I mean, somebody needed to shoot the E5, but be aware that your buddy almost died there. He probably should have died there. He was on the wrong side of the street. He should have actually been on this side of the street, but whatever. That was a huge problem, and it appeared that you were completely oblivious to the fact they were pushing him over there, and that became a huge problem. Moving to this position was great, because most of your team was still on the 3 line, so they could get shots there. It was very easy for you to get shots over here. And then again, it's just, if they're not putting on cap pressure, just shoot the easiest target, right? If there's no pressure, there's very little prioritization. You can shoot 1 shots. You can shoot the easiest tank. You know that the Action X is over here. He's going to get some shots on you, but they're not going to be super spectacular shots, just because of the distance and the terrain that's between you. But you could have gotten a lot of shots on, or you did get a lot of shots on their guys over here. But then you kind of hung out there a little bit too long when the T10 was obviously not going to push, when he was literally just hiding in the back, and they were just trying to take snipe shots at your E75. Your team, your buddy. So you kind of abandoned your Action X friend to die here. He didn't, which is good for you, but you did not help him at all. And then your IS-7 buddy pushed up this line, and you did not help him at all. That's really one of the things that, as a platoon mate, you should try to help each other. If your IS-7 buddy says, okay, hey, I'm gonna, your mouse pushed in here somewhat oddly, and your IS-7 buddy said, hey, I'm gonna go take advantage of that, get some shots here. He overextended, and that's his bad, but there's no reason why you should have camped here to get. I think you ended up getting 1 shot of damage on that T10 in that next 90 seconds, when you could have been helping your buddy here to clean this up, and that could have kept him alive. And that's one of the things that you want to do as a platoon. Try to help keep each other alive. It's really important, because that when you work together, it's basically a force multiplier that makes games much easier than if you're just all, okay, I'm working on this side, I'm working on that side, I'm working on this side. It'd be different if they were putting on cap pressure and somebody was needed here to keep these guys off cap or pressured off cap, but they weren't, right? They weren't trying. And so you need to recognize that and make sure that you keep your friends alive if you can. Otherwise, after that, I thought it was pretty good. And so if we look at the stats, yeah, your team didn't do bad. I mean, your team did decently. It wasn't like your team really strung you out there. So, not bad. 17 to 25, that's not so awesome. I mean, some of them were long distance shots, but some of them were just, you got to aim in a little bit more. But GG, well played. Hard-earned victory. Yes, the moral of the story is be a better friend.